before we get to Deck the Halls real quick, do y'all do Christmas dinner? Do you do
Not we do like we usually do breakfast. Like we do morning stuff.
Okay.
And then like the rest of the day is just chilling.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. We so this year, just because we went ham for Thanksgiving in LA, is actually gonna be house sitting, so I'm gonna be all by myself. So so for like a week, we're gonna do like a Christmas roast, and then we're gonna do like, homemade mashed potatoes, and then probably grab some Hawaiian rolls, and maybe do some sort of dessert, maybe, like I really love those cranberry bliss bars, but I just refuse to give Starbucks my money anymore because Starbucks are a bunch of assholes. Sorry, their CEO is an asshole. Pardon me, not the employees. I'm sure
not like the employees.
No. Just their CEO sucks. So I think so. I did find a recipe for some homemade ones, so I think I might just be like, hey, let's make these because I really want those cranberry bliss bars, but I do not want to.
Not want pay to Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be the business this year, but yeah. I think I'm gonna end up. I might do some cinnamon rolls, maybe.
Yeah. That's what we usually do, something like that, and then like the rest of the day is like movies, watching like movies we haven't seen, or like movies like from earlier this year, or just movies we love, just comfort stuff.
Yeah, so like we rewatched Violent Night on Monday.
Oh yeah.
Which goddamn, I love that movie. I'm excited for that sequel. I'm so happy for David Harbour. Like, he's gonna be so happy to never put on that fucking sheriff's badge ever again. Like, he's so over that shit, man.
Yeah. Everybody in that cast.
I think him and Caleb McLaughlin probably are the two who are just like, we want to get the fuck out of hot. Like, like I know Millie Bobby Brown is like, oh, I'm gonna be like so big. Like I'm gonna be real, y'all. I think Sadie Sink is gonna be.
She's the one. Like,
yeah,
the whole cast. Like, yeah.
I think it's her and Caleb. I think those are the two that are gonna be, that are gonna be okay. I know Hollywood is trying to make Millie Bobby Brown a thing. I just don't think she's as good as she thinks she is. TBH, like, because dude, I just see like I think she's really good in like the Enola Holmes films, but like I saw what was it, Damsel, the one with the dragon. I think she's horrendous in those Godzilla films. I think she's goddamn awful in those.
She is, yeah. She's not
like I don't know, man. She like again, I am totally fine with admitting I'm wrong. She might end up being awesome, and we're like, oh shit, never mind. She just had the wrong roles. But yeah, I see what Sadie Sink is doing. I see what Caleb's doing. I'm like, yeah, I think they get it. I think they're the ones, But but we'll see. Yeah, David Harbour's making Marvel money now, so he's
more than fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll be fantastic. And now he's got a fucking Santa Claus franchise because they're gonna do a trilogy of this. Like, if they're doing a sequel, they'll get one more out of it. So
got to at least one more.
Yeah. So so they're doing right. Well, so good for them. But yeah. So Deck the Halls, our last review, and then Marvel Rivals. I'm just gonna keep
Marvel Rivals.
Which, by the way, y'all, if you're playing Marvel Rivals and you don't have me on PlayStation, add your boy. Like, yeah, let's play. But Deck the Halls. So I had never seen this until like 2 weeks ago. Like,
same for me.
It's one of those movies I would like see. Like, I could picture the poster. Like I could always picture that, but I was very like kind of curious because it's like, all right, it's Matthew Broderick, who he's such a weird actor for me because like I think Ferris Bueller's a fun movie, but I'm not in love with it. Like like a lot of people are. Like, my love for the love for that some people say I should have for Ferris Bueller is like what I have for Back to the Future. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, I love Back to the Future, but like Ferris Bueller, I'm like, oh, like, all right. but also
Yeah.
fuck the teacher and the principals in that. Like they're just
Oh yeah, they're
like,
just terrible
they're
people.
monsters.
Yeah.
It's like, what is your problem?
Horrible.
Like, yeah, like to go out of your way to be that shitty to one student who is just like not even that troublesome. He's just kind of snarky, like all high school kids are, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, Broderick, I mean, Lion King, obviously, the producers is great. I actually love the producers. My favorite role of his actually might be the cable guy, because I just love
it's not Godzilla.
I nah. Not you know what's funny is I remember seeing Godzilla in the theaters as a kid and being like, that sucked. And my dad just being like, I don't like you saying that word, but yes, it did suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think I would agree with the cable guy. He's pretty great.
Yeah, a very underrated film, by the way. But but going into this, I really didn't know anything about it. So it's directed by John Whitesell, who also directed that
insane filmography.
Yeah, like going through it, I was like,
I was looking too.
Really? I was like, he's done all this shit, like, because I'm usually pretty good at knowing directors off the top, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't remember his name in the credits for any of this shit.
No, man.
So just to go down a few things. So Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yep, that one stood out.
Which I was like, really? So I'm not gonna lie, dude. I kind of love Malibu's Most Wanted.
Oh no, me too.
It's so dumb, but I kind of love it.
But Jamie Kennedy has only done two good things: being in those Scream movies and Malibu's Most Wanted.
Exactly. He did an episode of Grounded for Life, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love that shit. Like it's actually kind of sad how often Donald Logue's shows just get canceled, like all the time. He's kind of like white Dave Allen Greer in that way. Like it's like, oh, if you're on a show with him, it's probably done after a season. But so he directed an episode of that. Directed all 41 episodes of Cosby. That's not great. So there's that. What else? Old School? That's a TV movie, not The Old School. Okay.
He did freaking Big Mama's House too.
Oh god. So I won't lie, that is one of the worst sequels I've ever seen in my life. Is fucking Big Mama's House 2.
Insane.
Yeah, and Big Mama's House, like Father, like Son, because yes, it is a trilogy.
Yeah,
I know some of you are shocked by that.
It is.
He also directed genuinely one of the worst sports kids films I've ever seen in my life, Kevin Durant's Thunderstruck.
Oh, I forgot that existed.
I did not. I fucking
oh my god.
Like looking through seeing that, I was like, oh fuck me. So yeah, that's not great. But yeah, the John Larroquette show, like I actually remember that show. Like what? Like there's so much, like so many random things in here. But pardon me. So this film stars Matthew Broderick, as we mentioned, and Danny DeVito, which
fantastic.
So I'm not gonna lie, Danny DeVito feels like one of those people. Like I think he looks better older than young. Like seeing a young Danny DeVito kind of trips me out a little bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of, you know what I mean, like
even just see like him and Matilda, I'm just like, I can't. I'm used to old DeVito now.
Yeah, like I prefer Frank Reynolds, like insane looking Danny DeVito,
the crazy hair and everything.
Yeah, not this like well kept like brown hair Danny DeVito. It's kind of a trip. But the movie here, we go ahead and we follow Steve Finch, who's played by Matthew Broderick, who is married to his wife, Kelly, who's played by Kristen Davis. So I gotta say, to Kristen Davis, she's like either like she comes across as always either, oh wow, she's actually surprising and like how charming she is, or she is just like a fucking fife of a woman that is so annoying to me that I can't like her on Sex in the City, because yes, I did actually watch Sex in the City.
Yeah.
she was so goddamn annoying. It's like you just like if a fire alarm could be a person, it would be her voice at points in that show. It's just like, oh man, it was like, oh man, yeah, fuck it. Her voice can just be so shrill sometimes, but she's actually really charming in this, and actually funny in this. So I was like, okay, like more of this, please. But I think the big issue with this movie is that it really paints out Steve to be kind of a monster, like he's being unreasonable. And once he meets Buddy, played by Danny DeVito, and his wife Tia, who's played by, like, let me just, to be a total pig, Kristen Chenoweth. So she can still get it, by the way. Like she's like, it's kind of amazing how, because I remember the first time I saw her, or I think the first time it registered with me was Pushing Daisies. I fucking love Pushing Daisies. I'm still mad Pushing Daisies got canceled because that was a great fucking show. But I remember watching her and that being like, God damn, she is so fucking charming. And
she's fantastic, yeah.
And then of course, you know, Wicked becomes a thing, and that she and oh my god, you know, she's fucking amazing in that. But she's fucking hot in this. Like when I saw her, because I had no idea she was in this. I was like, oh shit, it was like, oh shit, like some Chris, like a tip of the cap. But one thing that this movie does really well is that DeVito and her actually have really great chemistry as a couple.
Right? That's what I was thinking too. I was like, I want these two to be the main characters. In
which I didn't expect at all. I was like, wow, okay. But like, weirdly, the more you see them together, you're kind of, you see some couples in movies and you're kind of like, give me a break.
Like, really?
But it actually works really well here.
I get,
because he's very, like, I'll be real, I relate to DeVito probably more than I like to admit in this movie, because I was sitting there watching him and just seeing how like eccentric he is and how his brain goes from like one thing to the other. I was like, oh god, it's me every last 2 months of the year while I'm doing my work stuff. Like I'm like he's just all over the place, and she's kind of his anchor in that way.
Yeah, really,
of being like, no, you need to actually like adult, because he goes ahead and sells his car. He's working at a car dealership. He sells the car to the person who owns the fucking dealership, which
is that good, yeah.
Which sales is a skill, y'all. Like, it really is a skill to be able to like sell to people and not come across as like, you know, pushy while you do it. But he's really good, and like as you hear him have conversations with people, you go like, okay, I get how this guy could do this. But the problem is he's just a bit of a douche, like in terms of like basic social interactions. Like when you're moving to a house, you don't start unloading your truck at like 2 a.m. when there's other people living like in your proximity. And that's where, as an adult, my brain was like, oh no, fuck this guy, because I would.
I completely understand where Matthew Broderick is coming from.
Yeah, like, and like again, Steve is like tightly wound because he wants to make the Christmas like the best one ever. Which is a pressure I feel like adults put on themselves every year, and to be honest, I don't understand why. Like I get Christmas is like look, I love
the kids.
No, and I get that, and I will admit, not having kids, that is a blind spot I admittedly have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as someone who has been a kid, even though that was forever ago, like you get presents, you get food, and your parents say you love you. Like I think kids need less than parents think they do, honestly, because as long as your kid has a functioning phone, that's like 40% of the
you already did something. Yeah,
get them a new phone and you're pretty much there. But he's trying to do the best he can, but Buddy really is kind of a monster in this. There's a point where the main plot ends up becoming that Buddy wants to go ahead and be able to have he wants to do something big for himself, for his legacy. That's kind of a big thing in this movie, and he wants to be able to have this Christmas display on his lawn that is viewable from space. Like you want to be
Mhm.
able to actually literally see it from space.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, man, I love seeing people decorate. Like our neighbors actually have
Same.
like a whole like Whoville set up, which is actually really fucking cool. But dude, if someone had that many lights and it was running them all night, I would straight up complain to the city and be like, okay,
Yeah, I would go insane a little bit.
yeah, like they need to have these lights off by like I think having the lights off by midnight is more than fair. I like
if it's that bright, like if it's literally like a light show like happening.
Yeah, but like having that shit running all night, like you would lose your mind. Like they're like that it's borderline like The Shining. Like you would just kind of lose your shit
just staring,
after a while. So that's where kind of their first conflict comes from. But again, I'm so on Steve's side, but he's just being kind of a shit partner. That's kind of where my issue with him comes is like but also she's kind of being a shit partner because she's just being like, dude, you just need to let it go. And I'm like, no, like this is a direct inconvenience to my sleep into my life. So no, fuck these people. I will say something that actually did catch me off guard in the best way is I thought Kelly Aldridge and Sabrina Aldridge, who played Ashley and Emily Hall respectively, they played the daughters in here, and you know they're very much like the pretty blondes, and I really thought they would just make them total bitches, like because that's where you know like Mean Girls,
the obvious joke,
yeah. And no, they're actually super chill.
They're so nice
and really nice and polite. Like it's if y'all have worked retail, as someone who's worked retail, I've seen teenagers just yell at their parents until like I've seen white girls like this tell the parents to go fuck themselves, and the parents go like, yeah, you're right. And I'm just like, that must be great to be you because I can never get away with that shit. Let alone. But they're actually cool. They're smart. There is this admittedly, like I laughed at it, but it is a bit of an awkward joke where Steve and Kelly's like son is basically like his brain can't comprehend being around these two girls. Like he basically his brain basically breaks in real time, and it's like
it does happen.
But I won't lie, as a dude, I totally remember that, like, seeing that person where you're like, your brain is like, how's this person exist? And it's like your brain almost like shuts down. So like,
this reboots, like
So from the kid's perspective, I actually got that. But that shit was actually really fucking funny. So there's this point where the movie loses me, but I think you know the part I'm talking about. The whole ice scene with the sleigh.
So, Christmas shenanigans. Like
so would you mind setting up that scene?
Wait, you're talking about the sleigh ride, right?
Yeah, where he falls in the ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't even know what point of the movie it is, but like DeVito is already like upping the ante with his house and lights and everything. And Matthew Broderick and family are trying to take a family picture. And I see that he has a whole sleigh outside of his house with a reindeer, but it's what is it? A horse with like taped antlers.
Taped antlers, yeah.
And so they like, oh, why don't we just take our Christmas pictures here? And Broderick is not having it, and so he gets on the sleigh, and the sleigh gets loose, and then boom. Christmas shenanigans. He gets dragged all the way through the town. And
it's so ridiculous.
I think he gets launched, right? Like into the ice.
Yeah, straight up
like,
launched into the ice.
The sleigh stops and he gets launched into some frozen ice, frozen water. He's a frozen Broderick. He's a Broderick popsicle. When he wakes up, he's in the car getting taken to the hospital. He doesn't have any clothes on, and he has a blanket over him.
Yep.
Camera pans, and we see Danny DeVito naked next to him, warming him up.
Dude, that's where I was like, cool. I like nah, man. Like,
Oh man.
because here's the thing, like, I get, like, from a scientific perspective, I get it. But dude, you could have on boxers, you could put on sweat. Like, nah, man, you need to not be rubbing your naked self against me.
He's like
And
really rubbing him too. He's like
yeah, dude,
going,
oh, dude, it
he's
is
going
like,
for it.
yeah, like it's uncomfortable. And then when you find out that that's not the first time he's done that shit, it's
Mm.
like, okay, so do you just like rubbing against yeah, like against unconscious, like men,
Mm.
like don't do that. It's very,
It's a weird movie because like it's PG, but it feels like it
somehow
wants to be
somehow it's Fiji. Yeah,
PG-13 or at least something like that. Like it feels like it should be. Like it feels like it
let me see.
would fall into that
It's PG.
kind of a category,
It's PG.
but it doesn't. It's so weird.
But the movie, like, but after that, Steve is treated like the villain. Like, oh, dude, he saved your life, and I'm like, no, like, fuck this guy. Why are y'all? And I'll be real. This is where Kelly, like, as a partner, is just so like, why are you being so mad about this? I'm like, I completely get why he's being mad. This is fucking nuts. Like, can we talk about how many boundaries that steps over? And you're just like, no, it's fine. No, fuck this guy. Like, and
Yeah.
and and so like you think that Buddy is giving him this olive branch because he goes ahead and gives him this truck, which you're like, oh shit, he gave him a truck. Okay, now if someone gave me now look, I don't drive, so like let's just say like someone gave me like a standing desk, like that would be what I'd ask. Like, give me a standing desk and some monitors, and we'll call it good. Like, you can buy my forgiveness, because after stuff like that, you need to fucking get me something. But he gives him a truck. Holy shit. Okay, cool. All is forgiven. But then it's not his truck.
Oh wait, this is after Broderick wrecks his own truck, right?
Yeah.
with the parking bit where he's backing up and just both his doors.
Yeah.
And everything just gets messed up.
Which by the way, fuck that person who's just like, oh yeah, I'll direct you. Like, didn't direct me at all, fucker. You just killed my truck. Like he's not, like, here's the thing. As someone who, Brandon will tell you, we'll pop off on someone if they're being shitty. Steve is keeping it together. I don't know how he's keeping it together. The truck thing should have been the last straw, but he's not snapped on anyone. He's not screamed at anyone. I'm like, he's keeping it together way better than I would. Like, at some point, like, this guy's feelings, his justifiable feelings, need to be addressed and acknowledged. And his wife just keeps telling him, like, no, it's fine. It's like, no, this is actually pretty fucked, and he has every right to be as angry as he is. And so he gets that truck, and then it's not his truck. You find out that fucking Buddy pulled a fast one on him, and it's like,
at this point they're full on feuding, him and Buddy. Like they're going a little back and forth.
Yeah, but like it's weirdly fascinating because both wives acknowledge that they're both
what's going on
up, but they're not acknowledging that the other person is fucking up and is the reason why this
it's weird.
It's almost like they're almost there, but they stop just short of acknowledging the actual root, because I do appreciate that that there is a point where Tia is just like, look, I've been flexible. I've been good out myself, but it's like, I've been flexible if you trying to figure out what you want to do. And when she starts laying it out, you are like, okay, she actually seems very reasonable in the fact that she has been very lackadaisical and let him kind of be him. But at the same
like putting up more and more lights and decorations and everything.
Yeah, but at some point, it's like, dude, like, enough's enough. I really appreciate her doing that. But when Kelly is trying to give the same speech to Steve, like, Steve has been like a little absent at points, but it's also because he's trying to avoid having a mental breakdown too. So it's
he's one step away from one.
Yeah. So when she's kind of giving him the speech, I was like, well, like this feels a little hollow given what he's going through and that he's been the victim of so much shit. So it just feels a little bitchy coming from her, to be honest. Like, so it just, I don't know, but it's such a weird movie because there are these points that actually do work, like the whole actual sleigh ride, not separating it, the reason why from it, but that's actually really well shot and is actually pretty funny. Like I actually, and then like I said, there are these things where you think that Emily and Ashley are going to be bitchy, and they're actually not. They're actually fun. Fred Armisen is in here, and he has he has a great little like little bit that I thought was actually thought was pretty funny. But like at the end of the day, this is such a weird, like I kept going back and forth because I kind of hate this, but I kind of like, what I mean?
Yeah.
Really does try to treat Steve like he's crazy, and I'm like, no, I'd be flipping out too. Like, fuck this guy. But at the same time, he is kind of being a dick to his kid, which isn't really fair. Like, that's really where, like, I kind of was like, dude, you need to, like, come on, But also, this guy's driving them nuts, so I am, like, empathetic to him kind of losing his shit. So, as far as a grade, like, I kept kind of going back and forth, but I'm gonna go like C+ on this because I think because I do think there's good here, but the way the movie kind of takes the side of Buddy, like, because even when Buddy does like his big like apology speech, they still end up doing what he wanted to do at the beginning anyway. So I'm like, you're not really like even really sticking to the you need to be better. It's like, no, you kind of gave him a slap on the wrist and we're like, all right, come back in the house. It's like, well, like Steve had to apologize way more than Buddy did, and I find that just very irritating, and like I really didn't like that at all. So I think a C+ is fair though for this. So C+. Brandon, your final thoughts and grades, sir?
No, I agree with you. I don't know if I like this or hated this, but I definitely had a time with this. Like, it's a very interesting Christmas movie. It feels like a Christmas movie you've seen before. There's a lot of familiar tropes, bickering neighbors, you see that a lot. But yeah, it's a weird movie. It feels like it was supposed to come out in the 90s, but just got delayed into the mid 2000s. Like, this movie came out 2006, I think.
Yeah, which is crazy because this does not feel like a 2000s film. Like, this feels like, I'll be real, this was kind of my issue with Christmas Vacation, where everyone just treats Chevy Chase like he's like I'm Randy Quaid's character, the uncle.
His name,
Oh, dude,
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, oh my god, that fucker, like
the worst.
And the movie just like, oh, it's part of his country bumpkin charm. It's like, no, fuck him. He would have been out of my fucking house like 10 minutes in. Like, fuck this guy. Like, it's kind of my issue with this too, but to less of a degree, just because same kind of thing for me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're totally right. Like, it's such a weird movie. Feels kind of out of place in time. Like, should not be 2006. And probably shouldn't be PG. Like, I don't know.
No,
at least get that PG-13. But yeah, Danny DeVito is great. Kristen Chenoweth is great. That deal is pretty much worth it to watch this movie. Matthew Broderick, not terrible, but I just keep saying Christmas shenanigans. Just a lot of shenanigans, a lot of bickering, and a lot of silliness. I'd probably land on the same place that you, like a C, probably just a straight C for me.
Yeah, I'll be real, like, as you kind of like we're talking about, I'm like, yeah, C+ seems a little high. So I think a C is fair. So I'm gonna drop down to a C because it's got some good spikes of humor, but the stuff that does irritate me really does irritate me.
Yeah.
So yeah, see for both of us for Deck the Halls.
Mhm.
Yeah, y'all. So we're gonna get out of here and go play some Marvel Rivals.
Yep.
Like that's literally what we're doing.
Yep.
But I wanted to, I did really want to review Deck the Halls because that movie was just like kind of tripping me out.
So weird.
As far as reviews for the rest of the holidays here, we'll do a Batman Returns review. We'll have that. We'll review that. I'm going to be reviewing a Simpsons Christmas episode with Canada. Have a review for Dear Santa. I might do an Iron Man 3 watch along. That might be my. Yeah, because I do love rewatching Iron Man 3 every Christmas.
I do too.
That's become a. I won't lie, just because like I kind of want to rewatch Shazam, but I'm still very angry at Zachary Levi, so I might skip it this year.
Yeah,
because Harold, like before even his political shit, I've watched Harold and the Purple Crayon last month, and that shit is still
terrible.
Like, spoiler alert, is very high on my worst stuff. That movie is some bullshit. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'll have the double review of Nosferatu and Baby Girl on Christmas Day. I'm gonna get back to streams next week, but yeah, after Christmas, probably be off until the 30th, y'all. So just a heads up there. But Brandon, can you tell the people where they can find you, man?
You can find me on the Letterboxd, where I am honestly probably my most used social media. Is that a social media?
It counts, yeah.
Brando, not Marlon. Yeah, that's where I just post all my reviews. But I've been watching lately. I've been doing a lot of 2024 catch up as well as Christmas vibes. So yeah.
So let me ask you before I let you go. What's a movie that you wish could make your best of, but that's probably gonna miss?
Wish that can make my best of. I mean, just because we were talking about it recently, Anora. I really love that movie, but it's not in my top 10. It's like just outside of it. Last Stop in Yuma County is really great.
Yes, it is.
And Love Lies Bleeding. Like I wish all those could be in my top 10, but they're really, really honorable mentions. High honorable mentions.
Fair. I will shout out the homie Jennifer Levinston for her film Trust. If y'all love oh my gosh, Succession, please check that movie out. My review and interview are up with her. It's a great flick. I gave it 4 stars, solid B+. But yeah, check that film out. That's streaming on Prime Video now, so check that out.
I'll do that.
Thelma, I fucking love Thelma. That movie made me so happy. I love that flick. I just can't find a spot for it. And then Snack Shack. I love Snack Shack so much, and I just don't think I can find a spot for it to crack my top 10. Challengers, same thing. I love Challengers so much. I think that film, my god, that movie just gives me so many feels in the best way. One of the best scores of the year. But I just don't think I can find a spot. And then Sebastian Stan's A Different Man. I don't think
I'm so good
for it. I love that fucking movie, but it's I haven't redone my list because I told myself I'd watch these last like 8-10 movies I really wanted to watch, and then I do a revision. But yeah, those are a couple films that just I don't think are gonna make it. Dune Part 2 is holding on by a thread right now, and I still have there's a lot I'm gonna have to readjust and switch, and yeah, but those are just a couple. So I'll throw out one more. Problemista. That's a great
flick. Yeah, same for me. That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie, and I can't find a spot for it. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I've seen this year, but yeah, please check out those flicks because those are all great. And I'll throw out one more. Long Legs is great, and more people need to watch that. But But yeah, y'all. As I mentioned, I've got that interview on Friday. I will keep y'all posted on when that will be live. And then next week I've got reviews for Sonic. I'm gonna be reviewing Sonic.
Hey,
From
yeah,
Disney
Sonic.
3. Yeah, I'm hyped for that. So yeah, God, I'm so ready for that movie. So be reviewing that. And then as I mentioned, Nosferatu, Baby Girl, have a review for Sing Sing, Anora. Oh god, I know there's more, but yeah, just those here coming up in the next 10 days. So make sure you're subscribed everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to me on Twitch at twitch.tv/therealpineapple. Make sure you hit follow the show on YouTube. Make sure you hit the bells for notifications at The Real Pineapple. And then check out the podcast pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts: SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, to name a few. And then you can follow me on Letterboxd like you can Brandon at Black Shazam, and follow me on TikTok and IG at J Hunter Real Pineapple, and then follow me on Blue Sky because I am no longer on Twitter because fuck you, Elon. I am on Blue Sky at realpineapple.bsky.social. I've actually been very very active on my Blue Sky. So check me out on there. Good stuff. But Brandon, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Always.
I'll talk to you in a few minutes. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're catching us late, happy holidays. Hope you're safe. Hope you're well. And we will talk to you soon. Have a great one, Neil.